Amara grew up in a small village where the earth was dry and life was hard. Their house stood at the far end of the village, made of mud and old wood, with a leaking roof that could not stop the rain. Inside that house lived Amara and her mother. Her mother had been sick for many years. Since her father died, Amara became both daughter and caregiver. She learned early how to be strong. Every morning, before the sun rose, she tied her worn scarf around her head and walked to the farms of other people. She worked until her hands were sore and her back ached. The little money she earned went to food and medicine. Some days, they ate well. Most days, they did not. At night, Amara often lay awake, listening to her mother cough in the dark. Fear lived quietly in her heart, but she never allowed it to show. She believed that kindness was the only thing poverty could not take away from her. One evening, after a long day of work, Amara began the slow walk home. The sky was painted with soft orange light, and the dusty road stretched ahead of her. Her feet dragged with every step, and hunger sat heavily in her stomach. That was when she saw the old woman. The woman stood by the roadside, bent and trembling, struggling to lift a heavy pot of water. Sweat rolled down her wrinkled face. People passed by, young girls, strong men, women with baskets on their heads. None of them stopped. Some looked away. Others pretended not to see her. Amara slowed down. She thought of her mother waiting at home. She thought of her tired body. But something in her heart would not let her walk away. She stepped closer. "Grandmother," she said gently, "let me help you." The pot was heavier than she expected. Her arms shook as she lifted it, but she did not complain. She walked beside the old woman until they reached a small house. When she set the pot down, the old woman looked at her with deep, searching eyes. "Why did you help me?" the woman asked. Amara smiled softly. "Because you needed help." The old woman said nothing more. She only nodded and watched as Amara walked back onto the dusty road. Amara never knew that moment would change her life. The old woman was not poor. She was a wealthy matriarch from the city. For many months, she had been searching for a wife for her only son. She had tested many young women with gifts, money, and comfort. Every one of them had failed. Amara had passed, without knowing there was a test. In the days that followed, strange things began to happen. Visitors came to the village asking about Amara. People whispered. Jealousy spread like fire. Some villagers said she was pretending to be kind. Others said a poor girl like her did not deserve good fortune. Amara heard the words, but she stayed silent. She continued to work. She continued to care for her mother. Wealth had not yet touched her hands, but humility already lived in her heart. When the wealthy woman returned, she gathered the villagers together. Standing tall, she told them the truth about the roadside encounter. She spoke of kindness, patience, and a heart that helped without hope of reward. The village fell quiet. From that day on, Amara's life changed. Her mother received proper medical care. Amara was given an education, and in time, she married the woman's son, who admired her strength and gentle spirit. Yet wealth did not change her. Amara remembered the dusty road. She remembered hunger and long days of labor. She used her new life to help others, building wells and supporting families who struggled as she once did. And so, the little girl who once walked home tired and hungry became a woman known not for her riches, but for her heart. Because kindness, when given freely, has the power to change destiny.